What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? It's Sully, and this week on Sundays with Sully, we are talking TimeZero. What is it? Well, that's what you're gonna have to tune in. Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and tell a friend about Navtronics on YouTube to stay up to date and in the know the latest happenings in the marine industry. All right, guys, like I said in that intro, this week we are talking about TimeZero. I don't know, like a year or two ago, we got underway on a boat and we talked about TimeZero and making our own bathy charts using a DFF 3D from Furuno and getting a lot of high contours and depths and details. Well, this week, we're going to talk about a little bit more, but we're going to talk about it with the charts that they provide, as well as some of the weather routing and planning that they're able to do with this. Now, it's important to note, guys, we've got this plumbed in right here onto a Garmin 9200 MFD. We can plumb it into any MFD that has an HDMI input. In this case, we've also got the touch capacity available from the Garmin, so we have full control, as you're going to see here in a moment when I edit this in, to be able to control the chart, be able to drive around and treat this just like the MFD. Now, this does run on its own separate PC. We recommend a solid state PC for obvious reasons, but you tuck that out of the way, you run this up in here, and now you have a redundant backup charting system, but you're also going to get a whole lot more for it. So without further ado, guys, let's chop it up, edit it up, and see what we got. All right, here we are. We have our standard chart. This is kind of, this is what you're used to looking at here, right, guys? And we can kind of go ahead and, like I said, we can move this thing around. We go here, up here in New England, you guys are used to Jeffrey's Ledge, and you got the fingers over here. And you're going to see we've got some really nice details on these charts right here. Get the contour lines, everything looks really good. Well, if I go ahead and change this up here across the top, you see this ribbon. We've got a bunch of different options right there. Navigation, planning, fishing. Let's go ahead and let's choose fishing. Now we're really diving in, and we can come into here and we can even adjust the color palette if we want, so we can only see the color that we are curious for our depths. And we can come in here, guys, and look and see. We can kind of zoom in, and now you can really start to see the contours and depths. And if we go ahead on this here, guys, and now we can look at it in a 3D model, and now you're kind of getting that overhead view in 3D, and you can really see where these drops are. So you're out there fishing, you're trying to figure out what you're looking for and where to maybe go drop a line, looking for that life. Now you've got all that extra detail here, and we can go ahead and we can move this around and see what's going on out here really quick and really easy. So now if you have a PC, and you have, say, Starlink on your boat, or if you're in cell phone range, so you have Wi-Fi connectivity, you can then come into here and go into updates. And now we have the ability to update our maps. We come in here, we see in green, these are all of our favorites that we want to use and have quick access for. So if I go in here and tell it to check for updates, you see just how quick this thing's going to rip along, and it's going to go through, and it is going to update any of the chart data for all of our areas. You can start to see everything that it is starting to download. So again, if you have Starlink or something like that, here we says, there's updates for all this, and it's going to be a gig. Let's go ahead and let's see how quick it is for our Wi-Fi here in the shop. You can see it's ripping right along. And now, all of the data, you can see it's starting to go through all of the boxes there and starting to download. So anything that's changed, any updates, anything they have available to add to those charts, you can get them just this fast, just this quick. Again, if you've got Starlink, your download speeds are going to be a lot quicker, understandably and obviously. So we're going to do that, and it's going through, and look at that, we're almost done. We're going to have the updates, and then it's going to timestamp it and let us know that, hey, we have the updates, and they are all good. So we say download succeeded. Great, that's all done. Here's the next trick up our sleeves, guys. If you see up here, it says TZ Maps, and then on the other one here, we see weather. we have the ability to download weather. This is included with this here. So we can come up here and we see this box we've got outlined. If we need to make this box a little bit bigger, we can go ahead and adjust sizes on the box, stretch things out, change things around if we want to. And then we can also go to forecast, and we can say how far out do we want to see. We can go ahead and drag this thing all the way out to 15 days. You and I both know that 15 days out is just kind of a weather guess at that point in time. Let's say we want to say 4 days, and then we want to see all of the data we can download here. Wind, air temp, clouds, rain. We got waves. We've got all of that kind of stuff right there. You want to see the chlorophyll. If you want to get the premium, you can do the premium and get even more data on there. But let's just say we want to download that. So now we're going to go ahead. It's going to connect to the internet and start downloading the latest weather data for the area that we have highlighted right here. So now not only do we have really good charts, really good fishing charts, but as I go ahead and show you guys this, the weather has now been downloaded. So if I come into here and I go into my planing one, you'll see we've got the weather right here all laid out. You can see we've got a hard line across the top right there, guys, because that's the box. That's where we went and looked. So if we come over here, we start to see around Cape Cod, and we are now looking here. If I touch my finger on any of these things, we're going to see the box and what the weather information is right there for that area. We can get wind speed showing 28 knots right there. We come over here showing 23 knots. So we can get real-time weather for it. We can go ahead and move this slider, and we can start to see in real time as that weather is starting to move around. What are we seeing right there? So we can, again, for planning purposes, start to see what's happening. Now, if we come up to this weather icon right here, we can choose all of the different things. In this case, let's just say we want to see what the wind is doing. Great, here's a weather map for us. We can now see the wind. And again, this is a little better one as we take the tile and start to slide it along here. We can start to see what is going on for the weather right here. And it looks like it's going to be windy for quite a little bit here. So we've got all of that planning capability built into this right here, and you can do currents, we can do ocean swells, we can do all of that, and that is all coming from TimeZero. And like I said, you can plumb that into your existing MFD, assuming it has an HDMI in, which most of them for the last 5 or 8 years do have. So you've got that functionality right there with it. So what do you guys think? Is this something you see worthwhile? Maybe adding it into your boat for the safety factor, for having redundant charts? Maybe you're fishing and you're looking for a better contoured picture of what's going on underneath your boat. Let us know down below. Is this a worthwhile upgrade? And that's it. That's all I've got for this week's Sundays with Sully. If you've tuned in this long, you're probably liking the content, so make sure to tell a friend about us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button wherever it is down there, and we will see you next week with something else cool. Until then, peace.